Joining us right now on the Harbor One hotline, it is the great Dante Scarnecchia. Hello, Dante.
Hello, Greg. How are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
Help me out a little, or you can take the wind completely out of my sails. I do not look at Mac Jones as the big issue this season when it comes to this football team. You and I have spoken about this several times. Where do you stand this morning?
I'm pretty much where I've been the whole time. I think, by all respects, his year clearly wasn't as good as it was the year before. And there are multiple reasons for that, which have already been talked about ad nauseum throughout the last 3 or 4 months. And so, what is it? Is it rest in one area or another? The truth is it's always somewhere in between. And, they got to do – it looked like they got a little bit better systemically, with the system and doing things here towards the end. And hopefully that'll bode well for them going forward if everything stays the same. But, when you look at it, to me it's his 2 best receivers are guys that don't really do more than, go short distances and catch balls. And I think it has to be more transcendent than that as far as, attacking 3 levels on the field. And, they run the ball pretty good. They're not good in the red zone. And it's just one thing that, the things that were not very good at the beginning are still not good. And that's how I look at it.
Is there a chance? Bill said moments ago that they're going to begin evaluating everything as soon as this afternoon, and that comes to coaches. Is there a chance that, and that includes coaching, is there a chance that Bill looks at what Matt Patricia did this season and decides that he can go forward in that same role next season?
I think there's always that chance because I think they have a good relationship, and I think this, I think a lot of the things that they were doing offensively, the head coach has to put the rubber stamp on all that. Or I don't know if it's Bill's wishes in terms of what they were doing offensively. Hey, this is what I want it to look like. This is how I want it to be. You guys do it. And I don't know if any of those things, because I'm not in the building. But there are not a whole lot of things that go on there, without Bill saying, yes, this is the way it's going to be and this is what I want it to look like. And because that's what he's always done. So, I think that you're right. They're going to sit down this afternoon and they're going to sit down going forward and they're going to look at this thing microscopically and decide what they want to do and how they want to do it and how they want to make this football team better. No doubt that's what they'll do.
Dante, when it comes to Mac's frustrations, if you can even call it that, whether it was him telling people to go away, yelling on the sidelines, it does seem like it stemmed from either Matt Patricia or, some people can say that he feels like Bill Belichick doesn't have his back when it comes to talking to media. Do you think that Bill just getting an actual OC in there can save a relationship between Bill and the Patriots or Mac and the Patriots?
Courtney, I don't know what the relationship is between Mac and Matt Patricia. Clearly there was frustration at points during the season, no doubt. And I think that, I know both. I don't know Mac Jones. I've met him one time. He seems like a nice guy. And he wants to be good. He wants to be everything that, that he wants to have the kind of success that he's had in his life before, and I think he's driven by that. And he's trying to put on a good team face and all the rest of it, and try to make it look as that it's everything's as okay as it possibly can be. But clearly, there's some things that need to be ironed out here, and whether they go outside the building and do that, bring somebody new in, I just don't know if that's what they're going to do. I think that it's a lot easier to fix what you got if you think it can be fixed than it is to go out and bring something new, because you got a whole new, you bring somebody in that comes from outside the building and there's a whole learning process and that goes mutually along with that. The new guy getting used to what everybody else is doing and the establishment accepting this and, something new and, well, why are we doing that? It's just all those things. So none of us know, and we'll find out here within the next few weeks to a month, I would imagine.
Dante, that was going to be my question. In your experience, even if there's smaller changes or bigger changes, what do you see the timeline being for those? What does this week look like in the office of the Patriots at Gillette?
I think the first thing is they'll look at the roster and go through the usual process. Who do we really want on this roster? Who can we afford to lose? Who do we make sure that we can't lose this guy or we can't lose that? We can't let these guys out, and so they're going to look at that roster and decide who they can keep and who they are willing to let go and move on from and all the rest of it. That's number one. And then they go through the whole system, and offensively and defensively, and say, hey, this is what we did really well. These are the things we didn't. These are the things we have to improve upon. What are our needs? What do we have to get out of this draft? What do we have to get out of free agency? What can we do to improve our roster enough to where we can compete with the Buffaloes and the Miamis and even the Jets, who are going through their same thing. The Jets are awful good on defense, but they're horrible on offense. So, it's every team's going to go through it, but those are the things the Patriots will go through.
Dante, do you think the Patriots are better or worse than they were a year ago when their season ended in Buffalo in the wild card round?
I don't think they were as good as they were a year ago. I just don't. The statistics pretty much bear it out. They run the ball pretty good. They're not throwing the ball as well. They're not very good in the red zone. And, they're lacking in that area. And the mistakes that they make in critical situations, even yesterday, the interceptions and things like that. And I think I think it's been a disappointment, and it was certainly a disappointment yesterday. And I think, I'm sure, they would tell you that in the building.
So are you essentially saying that, let's say that Mac Jones is your quarterback next year, you're Bill Belichick, it may be better as opposed to bringing somebody in from the outside and trying to, worrying about a third season with Mac in which ends up regressing again because it's a different scheme, different guy, may be better to just stick with Matt Patricia because internally he's a part of the organization, knows that scheme?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they're going to look really closely at all those things and decide if this all will work. First off, number one, no one can be happy with the way it went offensively this year, okay? And so they're going to look at that and say, can we fix it internally or do we have to fix it externally and do better with other people? I mean, that's just coaching. Every team in the league's going through that right now, other than the teams, whatever it is, 14 teams that are in the playoffs. Everyone's going through that. So, and I think that that's what they'll go through, and they'll make a decision, and the decision will, start from the top down.
Isn't there a way that they could fix it internally while still getting rid of Matt Patricia? Is there anyone on the offensive coaching staff that you think could be elevated and make a change and make a good impact?
Courtney, that's a great question, and I don't know the answer to it. The obvious guy would be Nick Caley, but his contract's up, and then now you have to decide is this the way we want to go, and then sign him to something bigger and offer him, whatever it is you need to offer him to keep him there, and I don't know, but when you look at it, that's pretty much the way it is. And whether they feel like we're going to do it with the staff the way it is right now, or we're going to tweak the staff and, put somebody else in charge within the staff or go outside. Those are the three options that that looks like to me that they're going to have to choose from.
What did you make offensive line-wise? What did you make of Cole Strange this season, Dante?
Well, I think he started out okay, and I think he hit a lull at midpoint, and it looked like he played a little bit better here towards the end. He looked like he was okay yesterday, and he's a rookie. He's playing inside. It's a tough deal. Came from from a good football school, but not a big time football school, and he was out there. He competed just like everyone else. I look for a guy that hopefully will improve going forward and get bigger within his upper body and, try to, be a stronger player inside. But he did all right.
Are you getting that itch at all? We miss you up here. Just seeing what you're up to in the fall, or if you have any time on your hands.
I don't have any time on my hands because I've been playing a lot of pickleball. Yeah, I'm an expert. You guys ought to come out and play with me sometime.
Oh, Courtney loves it.
I love pickleball.
Courtney's obsessed with it.
Oh, it's you can't have any more fun than that. In fact, I gave up pickleball this morning to be on this radio show.
Oh,
Dante, you're such a good dude.
Yeah. But I don't have the itch to answer your question. I'm good, and life goes on.
Well, if that changes, just shoot me a text. I know some people over there.
What about this? I want to do a pickleball. It's like some kind of pickleball thing for the foundation. Maybe we'll fly you up. You could be the celebrity pickleball guy when we do the event. Would you come up?
Fly me up to where?
To New England. I mean, the weather will.
I'm here.
Oh, you're here now? Oh, all right.
I'm right here in Rentham.
Oh, that's
perfect.
Easy. All right, so let's do it. Where do you play, Dante?
I play at the YMCA's in Attleboro and North Attleboro, and then, outside courts in Narragansett when we go down there for the summer. Anytime you want me to play, I'll play.
I love it.
All right, let's put an event
we
together.
got to do that.
We got to do that.
Yep.
We have to do that with Dante.
It'll be a blast. We'll have a good time.
I have a quick question before you go, because if Wiggy was here, he always talks about how important leadership is in the locker room, and now you look at probably losing McCourty and Slater. Are you worried at all that this Patriots locker room will lack leadership next season?
There's guys that are on that team right now that are leading the way that they can lead, maybe not as captains. But they're going to, if those two guys retire, and those are the two of the best people I've ever been around in my life, and they're great, great captains. But there are some other guys in that locker room that will ascend to that status. Whether they can lead as good as those two guys, only time will tell. But players come, coaches come, and everybody goes at some point. And that's just the way it is. And so you always look for those guys that can make a positive impact in the locker room and do the things that, guys like Devin and David Andrews and Slate, all the people before them that they've done. And, and they've done always a great job of identifying those guys and, and hopefully getting them into that position. And to me, Courtney, honest to God truth, and I've said it forever, is that it's the 5-95 rule. 5% at the top, those are the people that lead, okay? 90% at the bottom, those are the people that don't. Some of those guys may be pretty good players, but they're just not in that group, and sometimes they can be even detrimental. And then that 90% in between, if they rise to the people that are at the 5% at top, then your team's going to be okay. But if they gravitate towards the guys at the bottom, all hell breaks loose. So fortunately for the Patriots, they've had that 5% at top for a long time that have kept this team going forward in a positive manner. That was a long-winded answer to a short question. I'm sorry.
Dante, just one question on when you watch the new aged athlete or the athlete nowadays, do you notice a huge difference in discipline, details? There's a lot. I'm more in the hockey world, but in hockey, there's the old school coaches that are saying these kids are younger, they're dumber, they don't follow details nearly as much. And I get the sense watching football with the penalties, and we talk so much with the kickoffs here in New England, that a lot of it's on the new age athlete not paying attention to details and discipline quite as much. Can you see that from watching from afar?
I'm like everyone else. I get frustrated by certain things that I do see, and I have a hard time signing off to it's a result of society the way it is. If you look at college football the way that's going right now with the transfer portal and the name, image, and likeness situation, and kids getting all this money, which I'm for. Don't get me wrong. I think college kids should get everything they deserve, especially with all the money that's around these days. But and then are we seeing, to your point, a byproduct of that? I don't know. I honestly don't know, but it's it's transcendent in all sports. You look at basketball, you look at football, other areas. I don't know what it's like in hockey, but you look at it and you say, "Well, I really wonder about that." But I'm one of those people that I don't believe in the old days. I believe in the now, and I look at now, and I think players still want to be coached and they want to be told how to do what they do and to the best of their ability. Because if they do, they get to stay around a long time.
All right, Dante. Right now, this morning, your opinion, is Mac Jones the starter on this football team next season?
I say absolutely.
Okay. All right. As always, it's great talking with you. I can't wait till we play pickleball together.
All right, man. Let me know anytime.
Thanks, Dante.
All right. You are the
Take
best.
care.
Thank you. There he is,
Bye.
the great Dante Scarnecchia.